Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another iRacing videos. And this time around, we are in the Dallara Formula 3 Series fixed setup at the Nürburgring GP-Strecke. So the GP layout, starting in P11 here with a 151.093 quality time in a 1300 strength of field. So quite the field today. Let's see how it's going to go. As always, we have the heart rate monitors in the bottom. We have the overall race third-person view, and we have, probably most importantly, our motion rig camera installed, and that's probably the coolest detail. At least that's what I think. Already we can see some players definitely sending it, and we're gonna try and stay out of trouble, at least for the first bit. But there's a little bit of contact, and there's actually much more contact afterwards, and I think we might have been hurt in that process too. Really big shunt, yeah, there's the cold wheel damage and everything, so we're in a little bit of trouble here, and we might need to pit in this lap. Yeah, we've got so much damage doing it. Is there rear wing sting on? It looks like it is, but the car's anything but stable as we push through the first couple turns here. That is just not a good look, I have to say. Quite a shame, really, to see the car end up like this. Already we can see, well, the positions aren't even that bad. We've lost a couple, but manageable. Now we see Eric Bell go up there, takes the inside, but then locks up himself, and that will mean that we both need to slow down, and that will allow some more drivers to push through. Go back to a racing line just in time, but because the car is so damaged, we're actually struggling to keep it in the right way. Whoever behind us wants to go by really badly, but can't really send it up there just yet. We'll have to wait for another opportunity, and we're trying to defend it for our lives, knowing very well that we're going to have to come in at some point or drive the rest of the race really with one of those, just, how do you even say this? Well, may I say, very badly damaged cars, you know, ones that you shouldn't be driving around here. It's going to be a pleasant experience, at least here. We do fend off the attack, but we're going to have to hit the curbs, and, well, I guess we originally wanted to go in, but that's not going to happen, so we stay out with the damage. I think we're just trying to go for this at this point, right? It's just not a good look, but you know, we kind of need to. As we cross the line, we're P13. Here comes another send here by Colin Meadows, who goes right past down our inside. Is very successful in making that lunge, and the exit from him didn't seem too bad either, so he's making that move stick. And we're just kind of stuck here now with, you know, having what we have and trying to push in all the way. Maybe here's a move, not quite yet, but getting pretty close to it. Instead, we're going to find ourselves here kind of just chasing along here, seeing if we can keep up with Colin. As you can see a little bit later in the lap, he is quite a little bit faster than us. And now then Adams looking to come around here. Trying to make this work. So move down the inside, and it's rather successful. Or is it actually? Maybe I spoke too soon, as there's a massive crash behind us. That's not a good look per se. It's a chaotic lobby. That is most definitely fair to say. Here comes another send down the inside here. It's Norega looking to go by. We're still side by side, but we're gonna have to lift over. Yakonik Oboro livery, of course, a classic sponsor brand who unfortunately finds himself in a position to not be allowed to advertise anymore. That's P16, another driver down the inside here. Fabricio Kizaka makes his way by. Driver ahead of us has gone off. That's driver who's been lapped, I believe. He did this. He's going to move over, make sure that he doesn't get into the way of the drivers that are fighting for position still, which, well, we are one of. Be it, we seem to be mainly losing right now. I'm surprised he actually hasn't gone for, you know, that move up to pit lane and just take that 2 minutes of damage, but I guess in such a short race you really can't get away with that.
Clear on the right.
Just kind of have to accept it for what it's worth, and he's doing so exactly. Obviously, for the people new to the channel here, if you like the content, make sure you like and subscribe.
Slow car
Ours
ahead.
will obviously be 100 subscribers and
Car stopped ahead.
see what we can do with
Incident
this.
ahead. Car stopped ahead. Go right. Go right. Go right.
See a car fighting to stay in the race, but facing the wrong way. More drivers into the pits, so more drivers then have some damage. As it's fixed setup, I don't think you need to pit for fuel in these races at all. I could be wrong, of course, but at least I don't think so. But maybe I'm completely wrong, and if I am, I guess we're gonna find out soon. Here's a move potentially down the inside.
Still there. Hold your line.
Using the slipstream and actually holding onto the angle, very aggressive into the turn, but just about making it. Not quite say, well, he decided to give it a look, but bottom off quite aggressively there. Can't go back to a racing ways here, and as you can tell, I think from the beginning to what it is right now, it's definitely a massive proof for him. There's contact between us two
Clear
and
on the right.
gets sent over, and yeah, we no longer have a rear wing, so
Looks like one of your wheels is out of
oh
alignment.
yeah, all the
Have left
downforce
grip
is
out
gone
there.
now.
You've lost the rear wing. Major oversteer likely due to lost downforce.
There is basically nothing left of that car now, so it's just going to be a matter of, you know,
5.4 seconds.
bringing it back to the pits. Here, Dan Adams going to be catching with us up quickly. I'm not sure if he had brake himself there, or if he thought, you know what, oh, we're going to brake a little bit later, but a good look per se. Trying to just be predictable on our lines, let the other drivers find a way around us.
Car on your left.
We're doing exactly that. We're doing it rather well, I have to say. We're going to see more drivers catch up, because we have no downforce whatsoever. Such a light car is quite difficult to get back into the pits, which we eventually will, but at that point you could consider our race to be kind of over. We're gonna come in. More drivers going by now.
Clear.
This is where we figure out how much damage we've really got here, at least in terms of the repairs that are mandatory. We're gonna have some optional repairs too, but let's just hope it's all minor.
10,
Just gotta wait for the right moment.
5, 3, 2, 1.
There we go,
Right
we
here.
park up.
We can repair most of the damage.
So it will be repaired, as you will hear.
Move it, move it.
There's the call that we can go again. We're now a lap down the majority of the drivers. Finding ourselves P14 coming out of the pits here, mainly in traffic, which is worrisome. Quite difficult to try and make your way out of here. We just gotta make sure that we don't disturb the races of the people that are well ahead of us. I think that's the most important call right now. A little bit later we find ourselves P16, so we've lost another position or two. In lap 11 we're gonna see more and more drivers go by now.
Clear on the right.
Now 3 seconds behind is David Polo.
5 to go.
That's Bruno going by us right there. There's the last lap starting soon. Final couple corners to make our way over to lap 16. Gap to David Polo behind is 5 seconds, so we've actually increased that gap by about 2 seconds. That's a nice advantage to have here, but even then, you know, with all the things coming in, the safety rating and such, it's just not a good feeling, is it? I think that's fair to say, most likely.
Bring it back to the pits. We're going.
There it is then, the call that we're over. P16 is the final result right there. 12 incident points, so we're losing a little bit of I rating because of our finishing position. We do actually gain an ever so slight bit of safety rating here, but it's obviously not really noteworthy, I have to say. In the end, well, we're going to find ourselves in position 1237 out of 1654. So that's the end result of that now. But let's have a look here at the full race highlights here. So let's all put it into perspective now. Here we go. Off of the start, we are seeing Number 25, Andrew Mount, who takes it easy on the start and makes his way by nicely. So far, no big incidents. Starts actually now with Patrick Fresden, who makes it in nicely. Now, here we see the Rothmans car involved. We're gonna see quite the descent by him. This was obviously already where he was trying to go inside us, and he's actually gone for quite the aggressive place. Does make it by. A little bit of contact, got spun around, and then actually got sterned. Oh, what is that? That's probably one of the weirdest way I've ever seen the physics react right there. Yeah, there is that contact then. Oh, that's just so unfortunate already. And yeah, that's not a great way to start your race, I have to admit. Here's what it looked like from his POV. And oh yeah, he just gets bounced around a couple times. And probably wondering, well, how was that even happen in the first place? Here's the start again. See the first car make it through nicely. He goes rather aggressive on the brakes. Then eventually, yeah, there's just an ever so slight contact, which actually leads to, you know, this big incident right there. What a good look. Here we see the drivers at the back here. Number 25 car. There's, oh no, yeah, that's one way to just get your spoiler. And this Guillaume Cordonillo who has that contact. And now obviously no downfalls into this whatsoever. Yeah, you're just basically a passenger at that point. Oh my, what a start to the race that was. Yeah, you can try and go aggressive off this, but with no downforce to keep the car in its place. That really pushes the car onto the track. So you can take the corners at high speed. It's just no longer there, right? And then, yeah. At that point, you could really consider this to be race over from the beginning. But obviously, it's going to keep going. Here is the number 22 car. Nicolas Grisak, who finds himself facing the wrong way after spinning. Is he going to get stuck? I'm not so sure. Obviously, you would like to rejoin. No, he's still able to get on the track. At least he's got the grip, but gotta wait for the right moment to rejoin. So many drivers here involved, and you know, try to spin it around, but that's not gonna happen. There it is then. Eventually able to rejoin the race as if nothing happened. And yeah, what a good look, I have to say. There's Ramos here in P3 for now, but very, very close to Russell Knowles in the bright blue car, and is gonna try and go down the inside here. Seems to be able to make it stick here, but obviously with the following corner following over to the left, it's actually just going to be a matter of being given the space, and he just got given the space. But later on we see Meadows trying to go by here. Sven Matisse kind of hopeless on that, I'm afraid, but also not really too you know, wishing to get involved into collisions, so taking it easy. Nice clean overtake right there, and very successful. Colin Meadows, well, ever so slightly stressed because of the pressure that Sven's putting onto him, but seems to be driving his lines quite well. Seems to eventually also be pulling away from the German driver. Now here's Dan Adams coming in behind. He's going to go for a overtake onto Sven Matisse. Waiting for that right moment. There is the opportunity, and there he actually loses the back end. Has himself holding the brakes. A couple drivers have to take a different line, but in the end, no damage done. That's probably the most important part. Joins the race, losing roughly 5 positions. Not a great look by him. He's going to have to fight for those again later on. Here is Erik van der Bel trying to get around Peter Evangelista. Going to be a ball send around here. Successfully makes it stick here. Moves up another position. Well done. The other drivers able to follow along, but already getting quite the gap in immediately. Here's a freeway battle. Immediately afterwards, Bruno Rega in the number 4 car. Trying to go down the inside of Sven Matisse, and very successful at that. Second driver is obviously still around, and that is going to be Andreas Unterberger in the Ferrari, who then makes his way by 2. Nice rear end camera right there. Visualize the speed of these cars. Here is Fabrizio Shizaka trying to go for the overtake onto Sven Matisse, and Sven Matisse just losing quite a few positions here at the beginning, but obviously trying to keep it clean. And obviously just isn't a good look, right? And he knows it, so yeah, keeping it clean more important than actual race positions. They know that too, so that's just how they're going to be treating it. Nice move. Eventually makes his way by the number 15 car of Patrick Frazen 2. Here we see Roberto Renna making his way by Sven Matisse. Yeah, losing quite a few positions here in the beginning, even though we don't have, you know, any damage or anything like that. Sure, we have that minor damage, but nothing to the lines of, you know, losing your spoiler, as we later saw in the video. Here is another very big off track, and yeah, that is just basically race over, right? Oh no, that's not a good look. Later on, John Player special car of Colin Meadows makes a small mistake, but is able to keep the car on the track. A little bit slower through here now. Is going to have to abandon the attack. And, well, a nice save, I have to admit, too. Here is Gianluigi Cararini. Bright green car trying to get alongside George Elements. The Benetton car for 10th position. So far, not successful just yet. Gianluigi still behind. The attack very far from over yet. Coming into the first sector of the circuit. And following along nicely. It's going to be a big straight soon. So it's all going to be about getting that toe in from the slipstream. They're pretty close, but I think they'll get it done. At least not immediately. Here is the Peter Evangelista car. Getting chased by Colin Meadows. There's the contact. That is a spoiler gone, first of all. Yeah, that is just not a good look right there, I have to admit. And it's going to go try and... Oh! Straight go into the pit, but very hard to try and cross in. Yeah, here it is. The thing is, though, the John's Player special car here is too fast to now actually make his way in completely. And it's going to find himself eventually going onto the track again. Where he tried to make his way into the pit, and he's stuck in such an unfortunate position. Rather than moving out, he stands still. My guess is that he was trying to reset into the pit. And he gets hit, and there's just so much contact right there. This is what it looked like. Andreas Unterberger, who has to take it easy. Also probably wondering, oh well, that is not how it's supposed to look. Yet there's actually the John Player special car again. They just about managed to avoid some good reactions there by their number 10 car. Keeps it clean all the way free, and that's good to see. There's David Polo. Getting chased by Eric from Lambell, and he has gone for this move before down the inside, and he seems to be not so successful this time around. There's contact between the two. It's a front wing that is completely gone. Eric van der Bell is able to just rejoin the race a little bit easier than the pink car of David Polo. Now here is Bruno Rega versus the Ferrari of Andreas Unterberger. Is going to try and go around the outside here. Defensive line taken by the Ferrari. Gonna have to be a real man to try and make this stick. And well, not successful immediately. Still not out of the attack, not yet at least. I managed to make it work. Now here is Gianluigi Cararini versus the Benetton car. So far, clean battle, but then going too wide is Gianluigi, and he finds himself crashing into the wall. That is quite the damage right there. Not a good look at all. A little bit later on, board with David Polo. Andreas Unterberger goes by first, and Bruno Rega, they're still fighting the two. Both pass the damaged car of David Polo right there. Makes sense, right? Here is Russell Knowles, who makes a mistake and finds himself going the wrong way. He was actually in third position up to this. Oh, and there is, yeah, that's awkward. The Alpine tried to squeeze by the other side, not realizing, okay, well, he's going to start moving. That is not a good look right there. Rejoining the track in P7, eventually finds himself fighting immediately with Eric once again. Number 9 car. So yeah, not a great look, I have to say. Here is Francisco Yave de la Paz. Tries to defend up here. Actually go for the overtake. Yep, very successful. Makes his way down. Dan Adams, well, can only really try and defend this. I think it's too late already. Move seems to be pretty successful at that. Just a little bit later. Battle's still not over yet. Both drivers still chasing each other. All is good for now. Here we see the number 24 car. Marco Alessi tries to go by Sven Matisse and well, actually looks up there. I think he was scared that he wasn't going to get any space. Still have that inside line here. Now, basically side by side. All is good for now. Tries to go for another cent, but there's just no room around there. So, just making sure he keeps us at the edge of our seats. Seems to be pretty successful at that, and that's just going to be the move from now on. Here is the Alpine with a brave cent. More drivers getting involved into this battle all at once now. Keep in mind that some of these are actually on different laps too. Here, for example, Giro Riviere in the dark blue car, but also Tobias Westner in the Vodafone livery. And Russell Knowles, the driver that we know has been at the front for a while. Also the Benetton car getting involved again. Yeah, this is just so messy around right now because some drivers here are at the same pace of the drivers that are lapping, but they're not immediately able to go side by side or anything like it, right? They're obviously not actively defending their position, but they do have the pace to keep up, and let's make this battle really interesting, really awkward at that. Here we see eventually it kind of just settles down here. More drivers going by right now. David Polo has to kind of let him go. And even though these two are fighting, yeah, just how do you make this work even? Eventually I think the dust settles and he's let him by. Yep, very successful. Now we see also Andreas Unterbante coming around in the number 10 Ferrari. Able to go by a lot smoother. Therefore actually gaining quite a bit of time to the drivers ahead of him. Here is, well, eventually all the overtake successful. Most important part of that here. The drivers ahead able to continue the race. And really on the edge there. Oh no. That is George Elemans, I believe, in the number 6 car, if not mistaken. Finds himself going the wrong way around, and she's able to rejoin as if nothing happened, but that's not a good look. That is quite the spin already here. Here is the attack from Marco Elisai onto Sven Matisse. Still hasn't gone by yet, but this battle is actually watched well. It's a shame we didn't see more. Miss Biovira tries to go down the inside, and oh, there is almost contact. Really squeezing him there to the absolute maximum, and now it's a brake late. And look at that lunge there. Sven Matisse successfully vents him off. This is some very hard racing, very good racing. And they're really pushing each other to the limit. Here is the number 26 car of Thierry Riviere. Finds himself seeing some drivers go by now after going off. Doesn't have the pace to keep up on the straight immediately afterwards. And they very successfully let him by. I think that's the move then. Yep, very successful. Now here is Marco Elisai still fighting with Sven Matisse. There's the contact between the two, and he gets actually flipped around a couple times. Is most definitely in worse shape than we are. Oh man, that was a big shot. Now let's look at that one again. Let's see how this goes down, because are we just braking too early? Was he expecting us to go take a little bit more of a wider line to try and send it through? I'm not so certain. That's such a tough race right there. Yeah, there's just the contact. Just look at the sheer, the mere speed difference, difference in that one. I don't even know how to speak right now. That's how baffled I am. Such a big crash. Here it is in slow-mo. There's the contact. He just gets launched up into the air, right? Yeah, that is quite a mess right there, I have to admit. Just not a good look, is it, right? And sometimes, of course, this is part of racing. So in the end, it's all part of it. But it's still a shame to see, the racing going out that way. And yeah, it just gets launched so far up. Now we are able to continue the race as if nothing even happened. But it's just not a good look, I have to say. Eventually, though, the majority able to rejoin the track there. Obviously, we are now kind of just crippling back to the pits right there. We're slower. We have no rear downforce, and we just gotta make it through, and that's not easy. Let me tell you that much. This is just how we need to do it, right? Nothing else that could be done right there. Now here is another scent here, perhaps. It's Rivière getting overtaken by Andreas Unterberger. Makes that one stick rather easily. Good move coming through. That's just exactly what you want to see, right? Good stuff right there. Here we see he's exiting the pits. Sees a couple drivers go by. Russell Knowles, but also Andreas Unterberger. Theo Rivière joining in his Alpine-themed livery. Such a beautiful car, I have to say. I think that one's absolutely beautiful. And this is what it settles to. This is the number 2 car. But gets chased by Andreas Unterberger and eventually makes his way by. Still getting chased there. Now here is Bruno Rega in the number 4 car. Just look at how well he's taking those lines. And he's coming up to the straight now where Sven Matisse is about to be put on a lap right there. There it is successfully. Makes that work. I think that's just going to be it then. Obviously, move successful. Gotta let it be. Gotta take it, you know, for what it's worth. And I think, obviously, you have some of these faster drivers now. We're unfortunately stuck after the repairs, kind of in traffic. Just not a good look after all. But yeah, here's a freeway battle. Through Andreas Unterberger currently leading the way. We're taking the Vodafone car successfully. And now we have Russell Knowles also trying to get involved into that one, the number 2 car. Freeway battle here, and is going to try and create some space for himself. Go down the inside. Actually, quite the door left open right there. But because he doesn't get a proper exit out of that one, kind of, you know, shake this car a little bit there. Trying to find a grip. That's what happened right there. Later on we see potential move again. Not quite there yet. The number 2 car stays behind for now. Keeps attacking. Waiting for the right moment. Now here is the car of the number 11, Guillaume Cordoriu. Getting close to Colin Meadows, who's actually on the lap behind. So, gonna try and lap him before the end of the race, and seems to be rather successful. We're in lap 13 now out of 16 in total. There it is, very successful. Yeah, obviously no reason to defend that one either, right? So, taking that for granted, do see him moving up yet again, at least in terms of relative position. Here we see 2 drivers getting involved into a battle. It's the lucky strike car of Nicolas Grishak, who gets lapped by Luis Ramos. And, well, obviously letting him go for the time being right there. This freeway battle is still on. Sure, one of the drivers is a little bit further back right there, right? That is the Alpine car, which we were speaking about just a little bit earlier. Here we see some drivers go by. Successful move by the number 2 right there. Good one at that. Well, here we see drivers making it through the final corner. And, well, here they all come at once then. It's going to be the push all the way to the end. Getting a lap right there in the end. But, yeah, obviously, one more lap to go here. Not the end of it just yet. Just taking it easy into turn 1. Gotta make sure they make it work. Was good for now. Yep, there's the overtake. I was waiting for it to happen. I think that's actually a pretty smart way of going at it. Making it work, and very successful at that. Here's the number 1 car, Roger Seidel. The iconic Marlboro themed livery, and he's looking to make his way over to the finish line in P1. And he hasn't really gotten that much screen time, and that's because he was just driving kind of in no man's land. Making no mistakes, making no errors, no one really getting involved with. And yep, there it just is, the finish coming through. Here is the number 2 driver, the number 14 car of Luis Ramos. Some more spectacular race from him. He's had to do some overtaking. It's resulted him in a 2nd place position. Making it work, and then afterwards is going to be the number 3 car. Finishing in number 3 as funny as that is Marcus Sunker. Looking to come into the final couple corners. Just gotta nail the last one here, make no mistakes, and that's exactly what he's gonna do. Finishing up the race in a nice 3rd position here. So another podium achieved there. Something I think you'll be very happy with. And it's all very good to see here. Many drivers here getting involved. Some good battles, but that will be the end of the race. And 16 laps of the Nürburgring GP layout. It's Roger Seidel with the fastest time. A 1:48.988. Yeah, obviously, I must say that these drivers have done incredibly well. That is going to be the end of that one then. Now this brings us to the final race element here, which is what we always do in the end, the hot lap coming through. As you can see, this corner quite tricky. You want to make sure you don't go too wide. That's actually an off track right there. This is totally fine. Just don't cross it too much, because if you cross it the right spot there, you're able to cut it out a little bit. If you don't, well, you're going to be in massive trouble. Making it through onto the throttle early. You can use a little bit of the AstroTurf, but you're good to go there still. Also, your last reminder. See, this is a new channel, so if you want to help out, make sure you like and subscribe. It'd be very much appreciated. And yeah, we've uploaded the first couple videos. And many more to come, of course. Both iRacing and WRC, in case you're into that kind of content. So, yeah, that is basically what the plan is for now. So make sure you follow along with it here. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll have plenty of races involved. Now, as for now, this is all looking okay. Getting up to the faster part now. This is basically just full flat out until you make your way over to the chicane. I mean, not the tight chicane that you're used to. It is actually the little bit easier one that they sometimes use. This is actually also the same one that they use over when you get onto the Nordschleife. That's where you then turn left rather than right in the final corner. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'll see you guys around. Bye-bye.